All right, so let us find the slope. Okay? So one thing to remember about the slope is how the line changes. More specifically, it is the change in y, in the y part of the point, over, I'll do pink, the change in x. Now, I don't say divided by, even though it is dividing by, because like decimals aren't very useful for slope. Okay? So like this will give us a fraction or a whole number, or an integer, and this will be perfect for us. So now just a refresher, this is the y, that's the y. This is the x, that's the x. Okay? Now what I like to do is I like to put this in a table. It makes it easier for me to organize my thoughts. So I'm going to put a table here. And then on a table, x always goes to the left. And we have negative 15 and 15. So I'm just reorganizing this so I can do math to it easier. Y is on the right, and since I put negative 15 first, 20 goes there, and then negative 20. Sweet. Okay, so let's do it. By change in y over change of x, I mean that I am going to be subtracting two y's and then subtracting their matching x's. So now what you get to pick is the first y, and this first y decides everything else. It doesn't matter. Let's do 20. So that means we do 20. We do 20 minus the other y, which is negative 20. And now, since we chose this 20, the matching x to that 20 is negative 15. So we do negative 15 minus 15. Now, this is where a lot of people get stuck because they do these in their heads and like, oh, I got 0 for an answer. Well, you shouldn't. So let's make that smaller. And now let's do some math. So 20 minus negative 20. Well, that's two negatives make a positive, so that's 20 plus 20. And that's just 40. Sweet. So now let's look at the bottom, okay? The bottom is negative 15 minus 15. Oh, wouldn't that just be negative 30? It would. So 40 over negative 30. Now, this slope is technically correct. It's 40 over negative 30. But that's not very helpful if you want to graph it or do anything with it. So I make you reduce it, because I'm a big old meanie. So let's copy that. Uh, 40. And now what can we take out of both? Well, you can take out a 10. So divide these both by 10. I get 4 up top and then negative 3 at the bottom. Now, even though that is correct, I'm still not done yet. I got to do one more thing to find the slope. Some of you have already guessed it. It's you can't have a negative at the bottom of a slope. It just is a pain. So proper etiquette dictates you put the negative up top. So the slope is negative 4 over 3. Okay, let's do another one. And as always, feel free to pause, rewind, whatever. So, quick review. X, did you get the, oops. I want to make sure the colors are uniform here. X, y, y. Okay, so we got that. Slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. So now I just pick my y's. Now if you want to, once again, we could put a little table here. If that helps organize your thoughts, by all means do it. X is on the left, so that's negative 8 and 4, with y's on the right. That would be 16 and negative 8. Okay, so let us find the slope. The slope is the change in the y. So I'm going to pick the first y first. 16 minus negative 8. A lot of people just drop the negative because they think it's already there because of the minus. No, you got to put that negative 8 in there. So the matching ones, because we did 16 minus negative 8, we chose 16. That means we got to choose negative 8 as our matching x. So it's negative 8 minus 4. And now we simplify it. Okay, so 16 minus negative 8 is the same as 16 plus 8. Negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. 16 plus 8 is 24 over negative 12. Oh, 24 over 12? 24 divided by 12, that's just 2. So our slope here is going to be a negative 2. There we go. Let's do another one. Negative 6 to negative 5 and negative 12 and negative 19. Cool. Let's see if we can do it without a table. So we know we have x. X is pink. We have x. And then we have y. So we want the change in the y divided by or over the change in the x. Now, change in y, we're going to pick any two y's. It can be any order that you want. I like to do it so maybe it can make everything positive. So let's try to do negative 5 first. Negative 5 minus negative 19. And because I choose negative 5 here, for my matching x, I've got to choose this one at the same point. So negative 6 minus negative 12. Oh man, I wonder if this is going to be a positive or negative answer. Who knows? So now negative 5 minus negative 19 is just negative 5 plus 19. Negative 6 minus negative 12 is negative 6 plus 12. Oh, good. Negative 5 plus 19, that would be what? 14? Negative 6 plus 12, that is 6, right? Cool. So now, oh, they're both even, so I could divide them by 2. So half of 14 is 7. Half of 6 is 3. So that's my slope, 7/3. Okay, good job, y'all.